Hi, welcome to Andrew Buckle book review of Illustrators, the illustrated history of Warren magazines. To my mind, this is a slightly missed opportunity. Really is. It's a brilliant book. There's no criticism saying it is a lovely, lovely book. And if you're collecting Warren comics, I think, wow. I have to say, the Warren Companion, for me, much better. Unfortunately, I haven't got a copy to show. It's ridiculously out of print now. So if you want a book about Warren, I think this one is obviously going to be the one you're going to go for. But it's a pity tomorrows.com haven't released a digital version or just released an updated version or just republished it. It would be brilliant. But still, we've got this, and this is great from Book Palace. It's 144 pages, really nice quality paper, and to be honest, all of they've got their illustrated ones, you can see sold out, etc. They're just superb. I've got a number of, not as many as I would like, but they're always of top quality, and you're getting a top quality book. But it's just I didn't feel that I actually came away from it feeling that I felt that I learnt much about Warren particularly. It just seemed to be less information than I would like. The type font is a bit large, could have been a bit smaller, put a lot more information into the book. And also it's about a good 10-15 pages, or maybe not that many, but it seemed a lot of pages that were really not connected with Warren. I mean, obviously it's EC, still horror related, but it's just, and there's like Web of Horror, a whole page about Web of Horror, and pages about DC and Marvel with pictures of. And I just think that's just really odd. I mean, it does feature obviously Western now. I love that with John Cleese. But it is a pity when you go through sort of thing like this. You think, why do they cover? But they have, of course, creepy stuff and various. Not too many pages of inked artwork or pencil drawings of that period. But lots of covers. Obviously, they've got the famous collector edition cover there. But it's Shock Tale. Now, Shock Tale, I don't think Shock Tale was... Does it say? Obviously, it was Fass. But they've included that, and they've included a lot of information about the competitors, but not so much about actually there. It's just odd. Yeah, Web of Horror again. You've got Web of Horror. If I was buying a book about the Web of Horror and the Fass, those sort of productions, it would have been nice, but it just, I got it for the eerie, and I mean, it's got the covers. But again, also another problem for this is that probably a lot of people have got these covers. If they've been buying the archive editions, they've got probably other references to the cut with covers. And it's just such a pity that a lot of the book is covered in that sort of... And also things that, well, I mean, it does have a lot. But it has got some great bits of creepy as well. And that's of course, not Eerie, Comic International, those sort of things. And also it's got some nice pictures of various people. Louise Jones there, I just noticed, Louise Jones. And actually that would be really quite nice if they'd done maybe a couple of pages of all the bit, an actual sort of gallery would be nice as well, so you could sort of see all the characters involved. I don't really feel after reading through this that I've got a real grip of who these people are sometimes. So a gallery would have been nice. Also, maybe a gallery of the covers, maybe instantly Monsters Unleashed. Why include that? I mean, it's obviously great mentioning all about all the wonderful other books, but you're getting it for Warren. And I would love to have a little sort of cover gallery, maybe about 30 on a page, but literally see the entire swathe of all the Warren magazines, all in one sort of 3 or 4 pages, would have been really nice, even though they were tiny. It would have been a great sort of get the feeling of all the various things, even the splashes or whatever, a couple of pages of those sort of tiny, so you could just get the idea about the Warren Publishing, what they did and produced. And obviously then you could go back and buy the archives, or go back and look obviously for the original copies as well. But it is such a pity. But you've got Creepy, of course, Creepy 110.99. I've got quite a lot of those, a lot of the later ones. I haven't got many of the early ones of Creepy. But I've got lots of Vampirella. I've got probably a good 50% of Vampirella. Love Vampirella. Eerie, few of. And a few of the other ones as well. Rook, of course. And 1984, I've got 1 or 2 copies. I think I've got that one. Yes, I've got that one there. 1984. It is nice that, of course, there weren't that many of 1984s, so they've actually included all the covers of those. And maybe they've included all the covers of Creepy, I don't know, spread out through the book. But I would have preferred sort of gallery sort of approach to it, to actually see it. Nice Harlan Ellison's in the book as well. It's quite, there was an interesting bit of information about Harlan Ellison. I love Harlan Ellison, but I'm a mega fan of Harlan Ellison's. And also about Gita of Alzar, was serialised in 1994. Also this one as well, I didn't realise, a copyright challenge from George Orwell's estate. Oh, title change from issue 11 on. 1984 became 1994. Oh, of course. Yes, it did, didn't it? To be honest, I've completely forgotten about that. Very true. I guess that would... It is a bit of a risky thing doing a book when it's 1984. You know, you could have gone, why didn't they go for 2000 AD or something? Oh, hang on that. But anyway, that would have ruined it for another comic. Or 3000 AD. That's always the trouble. You want it far in the future, but not so. Goblin. Don't think I've ever had any copies of Goblin. But it's got a few pictures, obviously, of Goblin there as well. And it's got the end sort of famous monsters of Filmland, all the various court cases, Stanley Harris. And I would have loved to... There was a picture I saw somewhere, I can't remember if it was an alter ego, one of the magazines, where it actually had sort of the sale, information about the sale. And that I would have loved a bit more about that. What actually happened, what all the various... I don't know, a little bit more information about that would have been nice. But still, Wits End, you've got information about, obviously, Wally Wood and all the various afterwards. And also, of course, mentioning about what happened later, ElfQuest. And those things. But it's like DC and Marvel, it mentions those. It does have a sort of gallery. There, you've got Warren there. It's just... And it's a good book. I don't want to come across saying, if you're a Warren... I mean, you're going to have to get this. This is definitely one to add to your collection if you're a Warren fan. But I just felt that it could have had a lot more than covering really much the same ground as other ones and other magazines and stuff that I've seen about Warren. More inked pages would have been nice. More information about the Spanish artists. More pictures about them. And those sort of things. There's a bit. Gonzalez, Morotto, those sort of people. But not enough. But... still, and too much about Web of Horror and those sort of things. But still, Illustrators. This is the Illustrated History of Warren magazine. I really recommend this. But, like I say, could have been an absolute masterpiece. Maybe you'll think completely opposite to me. You may think it is a complete masterpiece. Please put in the comments below. I'm perfectly happy to be corrected. Someone might turn around and say, no, this is the best book ever. Infinitely superior to Warren Companion. And maybe my memory of the Warren Companion is completely wrong. Also, actually mentioning that, there was also in the Comic Artist magazine, they did run the Warren, I think it was Comic Artist, the Warren magazine. They did a lovely issue of that, which was sort of much the same as what came into the actual book, obviously expanded a bit. But I would love to see that again expanded a bit more. But it is still a really, really nice book. And you can see it's a quality book that will look great on any bookshelf about Warren or horror comics in general.